My name is Mike Lewis, and I have been turning wrenches professionally for over 40 years at this point. Started out working on classic cars, muscle cars, kind of grew into just daily drivers, general maintenance kind of stuff. When we started our own business, we had that for about 12 years, working on cars, trucks, that kind of thing. Got into the motorcycle business, started doing motorcycle maintenance and motorcycle customization. Did that for a few years, and now I work full-time at a automotive restoration shop. We build hot rods from daily drivers to $250,000 builds. I like the older cars because older cars are sexy. New cars are strictly utilitarian. They take you to work, they take you to kids' soccer practice. They all look the same. They're all white and they're just plain and they're ugly. I like classic cars because it's obvious the men who designed those cars were very much influenced by the women in their lives. So there's the attraction there. And they're simpler. Cars today are over-engineered by guys who think, oh, it's cool, we can make this electric, we can make that electric, and you know what? It doesn't hurt anybody to roll up a window by hand. My favorite car of all was a '66 Chevelle, and that will always be the car for me. The second car I ever owned was a '66 Chevelle, and I love that car, so that's kind of stuck with me, and I was 18, 19 years old when I bought that car, so it's been a long time. I've kind of grown more into the 30s, 40s, 50s cars. Again, it's to me the influence of women. Rounded fenders, you know, it's just a sexier era of car. The '66 Chevelle will always be the car for me, but I've kind of come around to the, like I say, 30s, 40s, 50s, and it really doesn't matter a brand. I mean, I've always been kind of a Chevrolet guy, but it doesn't matter. I'm actually finishing up a 1953 Studebaker Champion. Customer brought it in with a flathead six-cylinder, the original drivetrain in the car. It was running and driving. We took that out and we upgraded it. We put about 340 horsepower of Chevrolet driveline in it, and it didn't fit very well. So I really had to work within the parameters of the engine bay, which was not big enough for what I was putting in it. So it was a challenge. It was a challenge. I mean, the way that the steering was designed, it was in the way of everything. So it took a while. We got it in there, everything works fine. And the cool part is, other than the engine that I've put in it, the car is original. The original steering, you sit in the driver's seat of this car, you cannot tell anything that I've done to this car. Everything works as it did when he brought it in, except for we went from probably 65 horsepower to 340 some horsepower. I had one customer named Debbie, brought me a '65 Mustang that her and her dad originally built for her when she was younger. She'd been in multiple shops, and unfortunately she found a lot of the guys that shouldn't be able to own wrenches, let alone work on cars. So she brought a car to me that was really in rough shape. It had a lot of little issues that needed to be addressed. So in working through that with her and getting all of the everything tweaked to where it should have been, fixing all the little stuff that wasn't done right, and it's actually really grown into a good friendship. I mean, they're friends of ours now. We visit with them. We spend holidays together with them. You know. Then there was another girl a woman named Julie. She called me and had a 57 Chevrolet that belonged to her mother. Her mother lived in California. At 50 years old, her mother decided, you know, I've always wanted a 57 Chevrolet, so I'm going to buy one. So she did, and she drove it. And then age and health, she couldn't drive anymore, so it got parked in a barn for 25 years. Julie calls me and says, hey, can you get this car running? I said, absolutely. So she has a trucking company go to California and pick it up and ships it to me in Tennessee. I've never seen a bigger smile on a customer's face than the day she come to pick up that car, crawled in the driver's seat, started it up, and drove it down the road. We have a car right now that we're in the process of finishing up. It's a 1967 Camaro, which everybody knows Camaro came out in 67, that was the first year. What a lot of people don't know is the idea for the Camaro came out in 65. 66, they started kicking around ideas, engineers were working on it. It never became the Camaro until after it was in production. One of the early names for the Camaro was a Panther. And we have a very early production Panther Camaro. It has Camaro emblems on the nose, and it's got Panther emblems in the sail panel, which is super rare. To the point when the car first came in, I didn't know what it was. I'd never heard of it. My advice to anybody younger trying to get into this, find as many old gearheads as you can possibly find and go hang out with them. Talk to them, listen to them, ask them questions, because there is a wealth of knowledge that you will never get on your laptop. And if you're younger getting into this, I have an advantage. I've been working on classic cars really since I was 16 years old. So I grew up with it, and it's repetitive. So a lot of the stuff that I know now, the stuff that I fix, is because I've done it 200 other times on something else. That's the disadvantage of somebody new trying to get into it. They don't have that. And when you don't have that basic knowledge, you tend to overcomplicate things, and you make things a lot worse. These old girls are really simple. They don't tell you what they like, but they tell you what they don't like. And when they start making noises like they don't like it, okay, don't do that. Try something different. So you only learn that by doing it. You only learn that by doing it. So if somebody's young getting into it, find as many cranky old bastards that work on cars and go hang out with them. Listen to whatever they tell you. Put up with all the crap they give you because you don't know nothing about it, but that's where you're going to learn. At the moment, I have a 1926 Model T that is just the body that we are planning on building a rat rod out of. So I will have to build all the body panels to fix what's wrong. The top's already been chopped, so I've got some cleanup to do there. The body's going to be sectioned, it's going to be channeled, so I've got a lot of metal work to do there. We've got to build the whole chassis, all the drive line, all of that. I just bought a 66 GMC pickup truck, which is going to be my daily driver. It is a classic, but it's going to be my daily driver, so I'm just making it roadworthy. Right now, that's it. There's some talk that there might be something else in the pipe, but I'm not going to say anything until that comes home with me. So. But I do love it. It's a bad habit I just can't shake. I do love working on cars.